A man had recently received an opportunity to change jobs. The new position looked promising and he was seriously considering taking it. But before making the decision, he wanted to know whether the new job would truly work out in the long run, so he consulted the I Ching. The answer was more complicated than he might have expected. The position itself was excellent, and even the other people competing for it appeared likely to withdraw. On the surface, there seemed to be little standing in his way, yet the hexagram still gave an unfavorable long-term judgment. The real problem was not whether he could obtain the job, but what would happen after he obtained it. The position was strong, but the querent might not have enough strength to carry its demands over time. This case shows how an opportunity can be genuinely good and still not be the right opportunity for the person receiving it. To understand this case, we need to look beyond the surface question. Traditional Chinese I Ching divination is not simply about reading the judgment and line text of the Zhouyi. For thousands of years, practitioners in China developed structured methods for interpreting hexagrams through images, numbers, and texts. Today, we will explore how this traditional system analyzes this real case. This is the 16th case study in the 2026 I Ching case study series on I Ching Stream's Substack. The divination was cast on November 23, 2025, and the hexagram obtained was 64. 位记 changing to 40. 解. The names of the two hexagrams already provide an important clue. The primary hexagram, 位记, means that the matter has not yet reached completion or success. The transformed hexagram 解 suggests that within difficulty, there remains a possibility of release or resolution. However, the names alone do not decide the judgment. The line structure shows both why the opportunity was attractive and why it was not favorable for this particular querent in the long run. In a question about a job position, the officials and ghost line is taken as the primary significator. Depending on the nature of the work, the parents line or the wife and wealth line may also need to be examined. We will return to that distinction later. In this hexagram, the officials and ghosts M water line is hidden beneath the host line, siblings G fire in the third line. Because the divination was made in the M month, the significator coincides with the monthly command. It is also generated by the daily command, J metal, placing it in prosperous and supportive states. This shows that the position itself was of very good quality. But because the significator was hidden, the querent would need to take the initiative, make his ability visible, and actively strive for the role rather than expect it to become his automatically. I Ching Stream is the first platform dedicated to systematically bringing Chinese I Ching divination texts, methods, and case studies to a global audience. For thousands of years, Chinese practitioners have developed and refined practical methods of I Ching divination, based on images, numerical systems such as Najia method, and text. Before I Ching Stream, this practical tradition was largely inaccessible to international readers, because there was no systematic English presentation of these classical manuals, methods, and case studies. Building this foundation requires years of study because of the specialized language and technical knowledge preserved in these texts. Over the past several years, we have translated and organized important works such as 真山补益, 母氏正宗, 易貌, and other historical manuals, making these resources available to students, researchers, and practitioners around the world. If you would like to start learning this tradition systematically, our I Ching Divination, a practical study roadmap, is available through the link below this video. Now, let's continue with the analysis of this case. The lines representing the competitors initially appear favorable, but their movement shows that they would not remain a serious obstacle. The top line, siblings F fire, represents competitors. It coincides with the azure long, but in the M month, it encounters monthly break. After becoming active, it transforms into descendants L earth and enters the tomb. This clearly indicates that the competitors would withdraw and lose their competitiveness. The querent did not fail because someone else was stronger and took the role away from him. So why was the final judgment still unfavorable? The host line represents the querent himself. Here the host is the third line siblings G fire. In contrast with the prosperous and supportive job significator, the host was weak. The first line parent C wood appears to offer support. It receives monthly compatibility, is in prosperous and supportive states, and is clashed into covert activation by the daily command J metal. It then generates the host line. On the surface, this can represent support from superiors or backing from the querent's own qualifications and ability. But this was a question about the long-term prospects of a job. At the level of judging auspiciousness or inauspiciousness in a long-term matter, this kind of covert activation can be disregarded. It was not stable enough to reverse the overall structure. The decisive pattern was therefore a weak host and a strong significator. In plain language, the position was strong, but the person asking about it did not have enough strength to carry it. This does not mean that the job was bad. It means that the demands, level, or weight of the role exceeded what the querent could sustainably support at that time. A high-quality position can still become an unfavorable opportunity when the person and the position are seriously mismatched. The final judgment was therefore that the long-term prospects of this role were not good for the querent. The reading did not support treating the opportunity as favorable merely because the job itself looked excellent. This case also illustrates an important rule for selecting the significator in career questions. For a profession or job position, officials and ghosts is the primary significator, but the supporting lines depend on what the querent actually wants from the work. For a government position or a job centered on documents, hierarchy, and status rather than money, the parent's line should also be considered. For a job pursued mainly for income, the wife and wealth line should also be examined. Most importantly, the quality of the position and the querent's capacity to carry it must be judged separately. A strong significator is not automatically auspicious when the host is too weak to receive or sustain what it represents. This case shows that traditional I Ching divination is much more than simply reading the judgment and line texts. It also involves the study of images and practical methods such as najia, which reveal deeper information within the hexagram. If you enjoy real I Ching case studies, subscribe to I Ching Stream. You can find more detailed case studies, written analysis, and additional resources through the links below this video, including our Substack archive. Let me know in the comments what kinds of cases you would like to see next. Relationships, career decisions, business questions, or other topics. We will continue sharing more examples from the traditional practice of Chinese I Ching divination.